Now we're going to use the power rule to find the derivative. So instead of doing the limit and taking all those extra steps, which are fun, we're going to use the power rule. So the derivative is going to be, so you take the exponent, bring it in front and multiply, and then subtract 1 from the exponent. So the derivative for x cubed is 3x squared. For this one, bring the 2 in front, so that will be negative 16 in front. Subtract 1 from the exponent, it just leaves x. And here, the exponent is 1, so bring that 1 down in front and multiply, it leaves it 2. And when you subtract 1, it's going to leave x to the 0. X to the 0 equals 1, so this is a 2 times 1. And for a constant, the derivative is 0. So plus 0. Then, where's the derivative equal to 0? So set it equal to 0, and then solve for x. With this one being quadratic, we could use the quadratic formula. We could try to factor, but factoring only works sometimes, and the quadratic formula works all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and use the quadratic formula. So that's going to be negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4 times a times c. And then that all gets divided by 2 times a. So this will become a 16 plus or minus then what's inside the radical. So there's, when you square this negative, that's going to be positive. So 16 gets squared, and then minus a 4 times 3 times 2. So it's going to be the square root of 232, and it's divided by 6. Then, because of the plus minus, there's going to be 2 answers. So I should put the numerator in parentheses. Whenever there's more than one thing in a fraction, you should use parentheses. So parentheses 16 plus the square root of 232 parentheses divided by 6. This one doesn't need parentheses because it's only one number, so the calculator will not get confused. 5.205. And now do the same thing. So I could put second enter and then just back up and change this to subtract. Hit enter. 0.128. Also graph the function. So go to y equals. Let me clear out this other stuff. Also, this is in the wrong mode. Let me change it back to function mode. And now graph the original function. So that's going to be x is raised to the third, then move to the right, minus 8x squared plus 2x and plus 3. And I'm not sure what the window should be set up, how the window should be set up, so I'm just going to go to zoom standard to see if I can see the graph. And for the most part I can, except it went off the screen down here. So what I'm going to do is trace, and even though I can't see the cursor, I can see that it's going down to negative, it went down to about negative 60. So I just need to change this. Instead of negative 10, let's see, I think it went to negative 61. So if I go to negative 70, then that should be good enough to see the graph. And there we go. So we got these two answers. So it should be this lowest point, that's where the derivative equals 0, and that tallest point, that's where the derivative equals 0. Now I want to make sure that these are correct. So I'm going to go to trace 0.128, and that should be the that should be the very top of that hill right there. That's good. So this is when x equals a 0.128. And then this point, the lowest point, that should be the 5.205. So trace 5.205, perfect. 5.205. So there's a maximum right here, and there's a minimum right here.